What up, 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 what up? Shout out to everybody joining the live. I appreciate y'all tapping in. Make sure we crystal clear over here. Hopefully we are. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Hope y'all working everything out the way y'all work it out. What's up, family? We get on all platforms real quick. Shout out to whatever platform y'all joining on, Instagram, TikTok. Shout out to everybody. We make it happen. Shout out to everybody joining the live. This is your first time on the live. I appreciate you. I go by Zabo103. I'm the dude that get on these live platforms, and I literally just try to provoke thought, y'all. I believe that if you think, if you research, and you take action, you absolutely, without a doubt, will win. Look, y'all, we are doing something a little bit different. I think y'all can hear me okay, so I don't need that. And I've been popping on these lives. What's up, Nick? I've been popping on these lives a little bit sporadic. Very sporadic these days. What's up, family? I am that's show. What's up, family? How you? But I've been popping on these lives a little bit sporadic these days. And I've said I'm gonna get on here more often and try to stay, stay consistent, but it get hard sometimes, y'all. What's up, family? I'm not even gonna front. First thing first, look, y'all, I know I'm on multiple platforms right now. And I get so many different DMs from people telling me that, there's a bunch of fake accounts that are always acting like they're me. And it mainly comes from my TikTok family. And what I will say is that while I can't really do a lot to control it, um, but do what I'm doing, reporting, block, all the other good stuff. I was going to go through the process of striking those accounts. But after looking at how many accounts it was, it didn't make logical sense. So I did something a little bit more different. And my TikTok family, y'all might see this a little bit more. The interaction TikTok is going to drop drastically. And the reason why it's going to drop is because if you haven't figured out, I went ahead and made my account on TikTok private. And the reason why I made it private is because if they're not following me already, they can't rip the content. If they follow me already, even if I don't follow them back, that means I've accepted them as a follower and they're fine. Think about what I just said. So that's going to limit some of the action that you're having in regards to seeing my content pop up and it not be me, specifically on TikTok. What does that mean? It means that my engagement is going to drop on TikTok. So, with that being said, I can just tell you flat out, when I do decide to get on social media outside of my own platform, which is Zabo103 TV, if I have to pick one platform that I'm gonna have to be on, 99.9% of the time is going to be Instagram. And the reason why is simply because I'm verified over there, and people that are on the Instagram platform, they'll have an opportunity and understand that realistically, you're not getting hustled. I've been DM and been told that people have been asking them for money through WhatsApp. I ain't got no WhatsApp, y'all. I've been told that people been hitting them up for them to join some type of cryptocurrency thing. Y'all, I don't do no cryptocurrency. So the only way that I know at this point to try to prevent some of these things from transpiring is to make that account private. So there's that. So with that being said, look, for those people that are on my TikTok live, trust me, I got a lot of love for y'all. I always gonna have a lot of love for y'all. I will be again limiting the live content strictly to obviously the metaverse at this point, right? Outside of my own network, because that's where I'm about to start spending a ton of more time at. When I go live, I'm just gonna start live because it only makes sense. For those people that want to stay up to date what's going on with me, follow the journey, learn some other things, open your mind up to some other things that you're not haven't or don't know already, subscribe to my network, Zabo103tv.com. That's where the bulk of the information is actually going to go, because it's just one of those things where I'm not going to say I'm tired of social media. I'm not going to say that because that's not really the case. I think that social media is so full of trolls that it don't make sense. And even though you have a ton of people that want to understand and learn and grow and all these different things, the few trolls that are on there are always going to be the loudest. And it makes it bad for people, right? So what I plan on doing at this point is just engulfing my time on my network. So with that being said, definitely tap in, subscribe to it. But nevertheless, if this is I appreciate you. If this is your first time on my live, put a 1 in the chat. If you've been on my live more than once, put a 2 in the chat. And I know we're gonna have a really low number. What's up, family? I know we're gonna have a really low number on my TikTok platform today, just because my account is now private. So it looked like we got one new person here. Welcome. Actually, a couple new people here. Welcome. What's up, Tiff? Got a couple new people here. Shout out to y'all for tapping in with your boy. If you don't know who I am, I go by Zabo103. I'm the dude that get on these live platforms, and I literally just try to provoke thought. I believe that if you think, if you research and take action, you absolutely can win. It is Zabo103tv.com. The link is in the bio, and I'll put it right here, right? Zabo103tv.com. And you definitely can subscribe. We it's like Netflix, but I also go live over there. It's my own platform that I created. But one of the things that I wanted to get back to, because it's been a minute since I've had a real intimate conversation with my social media platform, and it's normally because I'll get on multiple platforms and have 3, 4, 5, 6, 700 people on the live. In this scenario, we're going to be less than 100 all the time for the most part, which I think is going to wind up being better, because I know that it'll truly be people that want the information. And it'll be people that know that are truly ready for change. I'm now 143 weeks straight giving out free information, telling people how I started my journey, how I got out of the rat race, how I maintained to stay out of the rat race, and even how I, changed my bloodline life forever. Everybody in my bloodline will have a head start on life based off of the decisions that I made. And I think that when you really start to peel that back, a lot of people can't really understand and can't begin to grasp what that means. So I'm going to explain. When I very first started working, let's call Bank of America where I started, even though it was MBNA, but we'll call it Bank of America because Bank of America bought MBNA. But when I first started working at Bank of America, I'm gonna be honest with you, having a job, being able to make 100 grand a year, man, you couldn't tell me nothing. It was the greatest feeling on the planet. A person like me come from where I come from without a college degree to be able to make 100 grand a year, you can't tell me nothing. It was one of the best feelings in the world. Why? Because I was able to take care of my family. Every time I would get a raise, every time I would get a new position, and I would keep getting all these raises. When I got to the point of making a couple 100 grand a year at Bank of America, you really couldn't tell me nothing. But over the time frame of me actually being there, and I was at Bank of America for 20 years, that old feeling started to come back. Like there gotta be more. There gotta be something greater. There gotta be something bigger than just working for somebody else for the rest of my life, asking, can I get PTO? Having to call out sick, having to tell my boss come in the room. It had to be something greater. When I went into entrepreneurship while I was still at the bank, I was realistically giving Bank of America just for the sake of argument, 200 hours a month of my life. And I can't even make that up if I wanted to. That's 2,400 hours a year. I can't never get that back. When I started conducting business while I was still giving Bank of America 2,400 hours a year, I was giving my businesses 2,400 hours a year. So you only can imagine the strain that that put on a person. Me having realistically 3, 4 hours worth of sleep a day, barely eating, so I'm eating junk because ain't really got time to get no wife working a full-time job, get home up an hour just enough to really say hey to the kids and kiss them on the forehead. Can't really help them with no homework. Ain't nobody got time with that. You go to sleep. I sleep for 3.5 hours. I'm back up doing the same thing again. But I had to commit to myself to doing these things. Why? Because I knew I didn't want to work for somebody else for the rest of my life. I couldn't take it. I couldn't bear to be in a position where I'm gonna be calling somebody else for different things that I wanted, begging for a 3% raise. I couldn't wrap my brain around it. When I made the decision to focus on my last name and not my first, man, I got all the energy in the world, but I still was burnt out because I still was doing work, working for my job, working for the business, doing all these different things. But I knew that there was light at the end of the tunnel. I knew if I did this process just right, one day I would not just be working for nobody else. I would be hiring people to work for my own last name, which would mean I wouldn't have to work at all. When I made my yearly salary in a month, another light bulb went off. You couldn't begin to even really wrap your brain around going from making a couple 100 grand a year to making a couple 100 grand a month. It is a unrealistic situation. And I don't think people really can grasp it real quickly because people haven't seen certain things. No, as far as been. But when I'm making a couple in a month, you thought you couldn't tell me that when I was making a couple 100 grand a year. You really could tell me that when I started making a couple 100 grand a month. Not only I feel like the big dog, I am the big dog walking around this place. I ain't gotta ask nobody for no PTO. I ain't gotta call out sick when I want to go to one of my kids' events. They ain't gotta work 20 some odd hours a day. Think. Think about what I'm saying. I started to sit back and say to myself, yo, I'm only working 10 hours a day. This feels great. Now I got realistically 14 hours a day, time to spend with the spouse, time to spend with the kids, time to get some sleep, kind of enjoy life. It's still enough at all. So I had to come up with other things, even though I was only working for my last name now. And I started to see that wealthy people truly spend their money on time. Poor people trade time for money, while wealthy people trade their money for time. They pay people for their time so they can get their time back. That's just the truth. When I started to see that, man, I can pay people to do the work, I don't have to do the work, it was game over. It was completely game over. Because now, not only do I have 14 hours a day, I got the full 24 hours, day and night, to think. Instead of me doing physical labor or something that's going to drain everything out of me, I can take a regular 8 hour day and just think about what's the next best move for these businesses that I got running. What's going to generate more money for my businesses? What's going to make people what's gonna make people start to gravitate towards the things that I have going on so I can make this business explode. When I realized those things, the life changed again. It changed like crazy. I had this vision of I'm going to take my yearly salary that I'm making every single month, and every month I'm gonna take a every single month. Because I thought, like everybody else, you had to store money in order to pass some wealth down to your family. Still not realizing wealth weren't money, because it's not. Wealth is time. Then another bulb went off. I'm out here balling out of control, got the latest cars, clothes, big old pretty house. You couldn't tell me nothing. I realized your money only supposed to be in private use. And it ain't personal, it's always business or it's a private matter. Things started to change all over again. And I kept saying to myself, I'm constantly learning so this stuff is wild. Then I stumbled upon, man, your money only need to go in three places: basic living expenses, the life insurance policy you can afford, and land. Why land? Because they're not making no more. Land is the only thing on this that only goes up in value and don't go up and down. Plus, you make money when you buy land, not when you sell it. And that's something that's so powerful that I know people still don't really grasp and understand it the way they should. In fact, I'm gonna get to a point in this story that I just had another aha moment today that's just some real, it don't even make sense. Then I was looking at a life insurance policy. Why? Because we all gonna graduate from this planet. There's not a person on now one of these platforms that's not gonna graduate from this planet. That's the truth. People get me mad, people can be upset, but that's the wholeheartedly truth. And it ain't nothing you can do about it. It just is what it is. Plus, we run around and say all the time, your health is your wealth. Finish the statement. Your health is your wealth. The healthier you are, the bigger the life insurance policy you can get. Just imagine for a second, you can put your money in something and get compound interest daily, tax free, that you can borrow against. and pay yourself back with interest. I don't think people understand that. In fact, I know people don't understand it. And it's almost sad to think about it. Imagine I got my money going here, and even if I borrow it, the money is still there getting compound interest daily, tax free. That's a wild system to put yourself in. Imagine when I learned that information, my life changed again. My bloodline life changed forever because I knew at this point in life, if I can put this system into place for everybody that comes behind me, it's always game over. And that was wild to me. Fast forward all the way up to today, May 19th, 2025. I done learned so many different things. I done experienced so many different things. It's almost scary to even think about this. All this time that we've been doing all these different things, the center of your wealth that you're trying to build for your family, the legacy you're trying to create, it starts with land. And I don't think people really can wrap their brain around that. It took me today, me at property number 29 for a little while this morning. They put in the driveway. I was a little excited about that. I popped on social media for them. And I was going to pop back on live once we got to the 100 acres of pecan trees that we had planted. Me and my wife, me and my brother went out there today. And when I got out there, I realized if you have enough acreage, you can change your bloodline life forever. And I as much on these social media platforms, even though I know I will be silent for saying some of these things, you can put yourself in a position for you, in the position that you're in right now today, you can turn yourself into an instant trust fund baby. And people don't understand that at all. The reason why I know people don't understand it at all, if they did, people would be doing it. And people don't. They don't even have a clue how to even set something up like that. Not even close. I had an aha moment today because I was like, oh, I'm over here creating trust fund babies for my grandbabies, not even for my kids. Not realizing my kids are already trust fund babies. Even though they weren't born into a trust baby, but they trust fund babies. Not even realizing it, I'm in a trust fund baby scenario right now. I just haven't fully stepped into it because I want to keep building what I want to build so nobody in my bloodline will ever have to work. And when I say ever have to work, they're not even going to have to start a business. They won't even have to start a business. And I don't think that people understand that. And I even said this once before on the live, and it's been months and months, probably over a year ago now. It's like if you ever watched the movie Dark Knight, like Batman, it's that Batman. Bruce Wayne went off. They thought Bruce Wayne had then went on Wayne Manor. The board of trustees was still could do business. Guardian over Manor and Bruce man was still at the crib, letting Batman explore the world. Batman didn't go out there and start no business. Batman didn't go out there and get no job. He became a superhero because he had time to do it. He didn't go and run no Fortune 500 company. He baby. I realized today that that's the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is to create a trust fund baby. And you know what's scary about this? If you're in a position where you generate $50,000 a year, you can start that process. If you're in a situation where you're making $250,000 a year, you can definitely not only start that process, you can sustain the process at least through your kids' life and your grandkids' life. If you're in a situation where you generate 7 figures a year, you can create a legacy off of that same process. And that's where the rubber really meets the road. So what does that mean to the average person that ain't started a process? You ain't got time to waste. You ain't got time to be thinking about how scared you are to start a business. You ain't got time to be scared talking about you need to step out on faith. You don't have that luxury. Because the reality of it is, the longer you wait, the harder it's going to be. The more raises you get on your job, even if it's penny, the harder it is for you to leave. On your job, the harder it is for you to start your own thing. And you can't look for your pastors, your AKA mentors that you may have. You can't look towards them to give you no guidance. They trying to do what's best for them bloodline. They can put a bug in your ear, tell you some stuff, but if you're not taking actions yourself, you're gonna be in the same position. And it's almost like, oh, it's so scary when I think about it. I'm on like all type of platforms. Because I just be want to see what make people tick. There's one social media platform that I be on, and it's so entertaining to me. I'll be on there and I'll just be listening to what they're going on. It's an audio app. I won't give them a shout out because they're not paying me for it. But it's a social audio app, and I'll just be on there listening. Sometimes I laugh in the comments. Sometimes I make a joke because it just be funny, but it be so entertaining. And I just be sitting back just trying to see how people tick. And it be interesting to me how many people be wrong in they put about nothing. I mean, you can find the most talented people on this planet that'll be strong about a position that don't give them a return on their investment, that don't give them a return on their energy. And it's a head scratcher to me on how many people say they really want to do something different that never do anything. It's a head scratcher to me. I get hundreds of DMs every single day. Zabo, I really need to holler at you, man. I need to tap in with you. We need to do this. We need to do that. I just go through the same thing. If I check the DM, I go through the same thing I always go through. Are you on the network? No, I ain't on the network yet. I mean, that's gonna be the quickest way for you to tap in with me. Well, I want to see if I can get your number, maybe take you out to lunch. I mean, you can't take me out to lunch. There's nothing to talk about. Instead of you investing in lunch, invest in yourself, join the network, soak up the information, research all the stuff you can use, apply it. All the stuff you can't use that ain't for you, let it fly. Put it in your pocket. Maybe you might need it one day in life. But you gotta start taking action, people. You gotta start making your feet around that corner to start building wealth. Because the reality of it is, Don't nobody give a damn if you get it or you don't. Nobody don't care if you get it or not. There's no one coming to save you. And if you haven't figured it out by just looking at everything else that's transpired in the world, tariffs are going to come. They are having some impact, but they ain't had no major impact yet. It's coming. Have major impacts on your life. No matter if you get a cost of living raise or not, they're still coming. The prices are already heading towards the roof. And if you think right now that you got time to waste, you are in deep trouble. You can look down every corner, no matter what state you living on. They building properties and they're not building them to sell them. They rent. So if you're one of those people, man, I'm not gonna buy no house yet until I'm not gonna move into no house until I'm able to afford to buy my own, and that's it. I'm gonna rent for this time frame. The average home in the United States of America as of today is $430,000. I'm gonna say that one more time. The average home in the United States of America as of today is $430,000. Can you find a home cheaper than that? Sure. Might not be in the area that you want it to be in, but you can. But if it's going to be in the area that you want to raise your family in, you spending $430,000. Can you afford today to spend $3,500 a month for a mortgage? That ain't including your utility bills. That ain't including the maintenance that you're going to have that you didn't have when you was in your apartment, like lawn work and all the other things that may go wrong with the property where you got to wind up getting fixed yourself and you can't call no maintenance crew because you're not in the apartment no more? No. Does that include the property taxes added on to it? Maybe included in your mortgage. Things are going to go through the roof, people. And I told y'all, when I was in Turks and Caicos, and then when we went over to Indonesia, and I said, man, I'm going to the future. I saw all this stuff. I saw it. And I told y'all last year this stuff. That's the part that became crazy. Like, y'all, we going to get an environment at some point where we're not going to have no taxes. Y'all been begging for it. It's coming. But the minute that we don't have no taxes, prices are going through the roof. They got to get the money back somehow. It's happening, y'all. Everything as it's going, the prices are going to go through the roof. Me and my brother we went to man, what was the name of the place? I forgot what county it was. My brother had this thing where he go renew his weapons license in a small little county because it don't be nobody in there. He can walk in, do what he got to do, and bounce out. What's up, family? And it's pretty remarkable because we walked into the probate court, and literally we got up in there, and I'm gonna be honest with you, it took us all of 3 minutes to walk through security, get at the counter for probate, him renew his weapons license, and we were out. So I was talking to the young lady, and I was like, hey, when do y'all have y'all probate court hearing? And she told me the days that they had a probate court hearing. I was like, I don't know. I think every county is different. It just depends. But I was curious if I'd be able to come in and just sit in on probate court hearing. Absolutely. You 100% can come in and sit in here. And what I plan on doing is I got a cousin that ain't a part of the wealth family building community that we have because he didn't want to join, but he's trying to do his thing on his own, which I think is remarkable. So I'm helping him out. I'm going to take him down to the probate court because they don't even have a trust. He don't even have a simple trust. And every time I talk to my man, you need to at least have your trust, man. You got land, you got property. At least you gotta have your trust, man. He's like, well, just the land at my house on it's only like 3 acres. I'm like, bro, it ain't 3 acres. That's a lot of land. That's over 120,000 square foot of land. If we're being honest, you want to protect it as much as you possibly can. So I'm gonna take him to probate court on that next event. Let him sit down there with me, and let him just watch how these people go. And I'm gonna ask him, is this what you want your loved one that you're gonna leave behind to go through? This stuff can take months, years. It just depends on the situation. And everybody and everything gonna get taken care of before your loved ones even see any dime of anything that you actually left behind for them. It's almost scary to even think about this stuff. If you're walking around right now with the will, you're just saying you will go through probate. You will go through it. It's good that you got it, great, but you will go through probate. If you haven't went and got your trust set up, I don't know what you're waiting on. You can stop procrastinating about it. You might have put things in your right mind. I know there are people walking around here without a will. I get that too. But the will, if you have one, you can actually have that inside of your trust. So your all your wishes are still captured, but it need to be encapsulated inside of that trust, people. If you walking around here without life insurance policy, I'm just gonna ask you, like, you say you got people that you care about and love the most, but do you? You want them to be trying to scramble on how to bury you? You want them to try to put together a fish fry? Leave behind? Like, what really is it? The math to me. And this is why I get on these lessons and I get so passionate about this stuff I'm talking about, is because it's the little things that you can accomplish that you shouldn't have no reason to fear. These are things that you know you should be doing because you got people that you know you care about and love the most that you're going to leave behind. All I'm saying is stop waiting to do absolutely nothing, because the longer you wait, the longer you're not going to do nothing. It just is what it is. We're about to build basically 12 more units of rental over the next 18 months. It was so crazy to me just going down each of the properties and saying, all right, we got to make this happen. We got to make that happen. We got to make this happen. We need to go get all the permits. Let's get all that done. Let's go on and get all the perk done. Let's go through all of the red tape that we need to go down here. Because as soon as we get ready to start putting that first shovel in the ground, bringing that first board, as soon as we get ready to do that, I don't want to be no interruptions. I want this process to go fast as possible. I want us to do more than 12, 18 months, but that's just me just trying to be, I don't know, a conservative when it comes to what I think we're going to be able to accomplish. I'm hoping it's going to be a lot more, because I'm starting to see stuff and I'm just like, we did a couple of flips that made sense. We invested our money in some other stuff that made sense. But I'm seeing all of these big corporations building these properties and then turn around that, hey, look, the buyers right now, it's a buyer's market. If we've been honest, it's a straight up buyer market. For renters, for the most part right now, you still can rent at a decent price. 18 months before all that changed. When I realized I can go and build me out a property, 1,500 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, new construction, 1-car garage, and charge $2,500 a month for that property, and it barely cost me 150 grand to build it out, and I can get 300 back from it on the valuation on the property, which is gonna leave me about 240,000 coming back in my pocket, meaning that I just got my 150 grand back plus my 90 grand back in profit, all tax free. I can charge $2,500 a month. The mortgage payment ain't no more than like 12, maybe $1,400 a month. I got a cash flow of $1,100 a month. Why wouldn't I do it? I can go out and just over the next couple of years and just keep doing the same thing. I got a bunch of land. Let me just build me a whole bunch of rental properties. Let me get my money back plus my 90 grand tax free. Let me get $1,100 a month profit for these properties. I can do 60 more doors of those. And after quick, 60 grand a month without me even blinking, because you got to have a place to live. Appreciate you, family. You 100% without got to have a place to live. If you don't, what you going to do, be homeless? Well, I don't know what you're talking about, family. I got a place to live. Okay, that makes sense. But what you're not accounting for is the things that we're going to go through. They say by 2035 in the United States of America, people will be contractors. What do I mean by that? They will be self-employed. It's going to be far and few in between people that we see that just have a regular look in case, where you might have some type of a job that you're doing, but you're going to own the business of the job that you're actually doing. Because these companies ain't trying to pay you. That's the absolute truth. Look at the minimum wage in the state. Look at the minimum state. And I wish I can make that yourself what it is. Well, minimum wage where I live at is $20 an hour. Okay. Where do you live? How much? $20 in 80 hours? I don't know. $1,600 before taxes. After taxes, what is it? I don't know. If I'm doing some quick math, maybe $1,100 every 2 weeks. $2,200 a month. Where the hell are you living? What's really happening? If we're being completely honest, but you got to start seeing beyond your fear. You got to start making moves now. And if you're not willing to make the moves, we're going to continue praying for you. That's all we can do. Because everybody is going to start looking at what they do for themselves and their bloodline. People are trying to figure out how to put their bloodline in a position so that their bloodline can win. I'm going to give you a realization. You know how many people get on social media and do the affiliate marketing thing? And they sell products for companies, other people, small business, big business. Like, people are doing the affiliate marketing thing. Why are they doing it? Because the jobs that they have is not enough. The cost of living has skyrocketed, and the job raises haven't matched that same amount. So people have tried to figure out how to, make other things happen. And I can be one of those people to tell you that there's nothing wrong with it. Appreciate your family. There's nothing wrong with that at all. You got to do what you got to do. But if you're willing to do that, I need you to do more. for your last name instead of somebody else. Stop focusing on trying to be an employee. Because being an employee ain't gonna help you. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news. It's not gonna help you. I can tell you, I know I was at Bank of America for 20 years as an executive without a college degree, making a couple hundred. I probably had about like, even though I was my job and in my role, I probably only had about 5 more years at the bank. If I was on faith, like y'all call it, and it really ain't that, if I didn't start focusing on my last name and conducting business, Bank of America would have laid me off within the next 5 years. Because once you make a certain amount at a certain role, if you don't have another role that you're going to, you're just part of the layoff crew. And as you know, on your job, especially if you work for nice sized companies, they do layoffs every single year. It ain't something they said, well, we had a bad year, a bad quarter, we got to do this. No, it's the part of the business. Let me get rid of you making a couple $100,000 a year. And let me get rid of you that's making 150 a year. Let me get rid of you who making 100,000 a year. I done got rid of 4 people and took away $600,000 a year off the board and took one person and made them do all 4 roles for 200,000. And they ecstatic. Why they ecstatic? Because they was only making 75,000 a year. Hey, we got a great opportunity for you. This is the new role that we created. These are your job functions that you're going to be doing, and we're going to pay you 200,000 a year. 200,000 a year, I will absolutely, without a doubt, take 200,000 a year. I don't care if you want me to wash the tables, clean the bathroom, mop, sweep. I'm doing everything. You can put me on the roof with the pigeons. It don't matter. I'm gonna take that 200,000 for $75,000, and I'm gonna be happy about it. And after I done got into that job and been there and learned the job over a year's period of time, I'm not gonna realize until then that I'm doing 4 people jobs. The bank cut 4 people and gave that one person that massive raise, and they cherished it and then realized they were doing 4 people jobs. Sounds familiar? Because I know Bank of America ain't the only company that does that. Your job do it too. All jobs do. If they good, if they have good business sense, why wouldn't they? If they got great business sense, 100%, and there's nothing you can do or say about it. Because in your mind, they blessed you. In your mind, all your prayers were answered. You got played. You got played. 9 out of 10, whatever job that you did it for yourself, even though you know it's not going to be at the level it was on the job that you had, guess what, boys and girls? You still making 1,000 times more than what you would have been making on your job. Because your skill set allows it. Whatever skill set you have, you can take your salary today and multiply by 1,000. If you did it for yourself, you can put that business in a position to go out and do 1,000x or whatever you're doing today. Even if I wanted to be, oh, Zabo, that's a lot, man. Everybody don't have to go get a spirit. That might not be true. Even if it's 100 times more and not 1,000, that's still way better than where you at. Well, Zabo, that's like a lot times better. I don't know, family. Even if you did it 10 times better, even if you did it 10 times better, you're still light years ahead of what you were making on your job. If you're making 100,000 a year and that's 10 times better, you went from making 6 figures to 7 figures in a year. Do you understand how your life would change? Do you understand the magnitude that it could be, but based off of the fear that you have, you can't even allow yourself to see it? In 2023, we generated right at about $23 million in a year. In 2024, we didn't do too bad. We did somewhere around about 38. But realistically, in my mind, it was a fail because I needed 9 figures. The math didn't make sense to me. I couldn't wrap my brain around being so caught up in, man, I ain't gonna do this, I ain't gonna do that. It's just gotta work the way it's gonna work. I got the people working for me. I don't need to add this, I don't need to add that. I just need to maintain here. And we're gonna do this. And it looked great for a little while. But it wasn't enough. Because I want to do so much more stuff for the people that I care about and love the most. Even for the people that I ain't never gonna meet. Then I realized something. I realized all I need to do is just create trust fund babies. All the people in my bloodline behind me, as of today, they don't just have a head start on life. They are trust fund babies. Think about what I just said. And before I leave this planet, I'm going to put myself, me, my spouse, I'm going to put us in a position to live the trust fund baby life. Because it is the right thing to do. And knowing what I know, you don't need a gazillion dollars to do this stuff. You don't need a bunch of money at all. What you need is in your head. You need to think. You need to think. And I cannot stress it to you enough. Everybody that's on this live has some type of talent, some type of gift that they have that they can actually change their life if they actually use their gift, which will make room for everything else. But people don't want to hear that. I always go back to Genesis, verse 1 all the way through verse 28. I don't know all of it verbatim, but I gotta believe, or if I remember correctly, the big guy, that's what I call him, created all this stuff. And then he created man in his own image. That's what I think that's what he created man in his own image. And then he created that old lady from that man real, allegedly. And he told that man, be fruitful and multiply. Told him. Go out there, be fruitful and multiply. Allegedly, that's what he said. Then he told that joker, whatever you create, have dominion over it, control. Whatever you create, you will have dominion, aka control over it. Imagine in 2025, if you go out and create something, you got control over it. I'm gonna say that one more time so it don't go over people's head. If you go out and create something, you can control over it. Just think about that for 30 seconds. It's almost wild to even understand it when you put it into that type of situation, right? Going back to Genesis. You went back to Genesis? That's an unreal situation. But to the fellas, he created that woman out of your rib because allegedly you were lonely. Allegedly you were lonely, fellas. So he created just a woman because you were allegedly lonely. And every message that he came down with, he came to that grown man first. And that's who he spoke to. So that you can lead this woman that he created for you because you were lonely. But you didn't really want to deal with it. So you let her go out there to that garden by herself, and somehow, mysteriously, some joker slid through there and made her eat from this tree that she wasn't supposed to be eating from. That's what they say allegedly happened. Imagine in 2025, we have so many women out there by themselves that are doing everything in their power to try to accomplish something. Some of them getting it right, most of them getting it wrong. And it's because, fellas, you didn't let her go out there by herself and some little rascal that slid through. And I know it ain't your fault, fellas, but it is your responsibility if we're being honest, because the big guy talked to us. So what am I saying? Go get your wife, fellas, so that you can be fruitful and multiply. Start creating. Imagine you believe in your lifetime right now that you can't create the things that you need to create because, oh no, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. Your father blood is running your blood, and you believe creator, and you don't think you're a creator. I'm a content creator. Sure, I get it. When you turn your followers into dollars, then we can have a conversation. But until then, you didn't create it for somebody else. Last name. I need you to create for your last name because your last name means something. Your last name means something. And you got pride in it because it's bigger than you. This life is not about you. It's about you leaving this place better than what you got it. That's my whole goal in life. I got it, and boy, it was a show. I'm gonna leave it in a better place than what I picked up. And my kids' job is to leave it in a better place than they got it for me. And I'm gonna make it hard for everyone to come by me because they gotta leave it in a better place. They gotta be on their hustle. Because the reality of it is their task to leave better than what they got it. Your kids might not be as strong as you to get out there and work, people. Your kids might not be as strong as you to get out there and get a business. You want to set your kids up just like Batman got set up, where he can go to the board meeting and be in that sleep. They're like, you need to think he should be worried about funding and what tell to do. That ain't your business. You need to be worried about how you gonna keep it funded. That's your job. Period. Nothing more, nothing less. But nobody understands these things because their head is buried in the Diddy case. What's going on with Tory Lanez? What happened with Jay-Z and Beyonce? What's going on in Hollywood? What the president doing? Your head is buried in all these different distractions that you can't focus long enough to get out of your own so that you can start progressing your bloodline. You rather sit online and debate while President Trump is doing a horrible job. And at this point, the way it is, he ain't helping you and he ain't hurting you. You're not even a concern. Because the reality of it is, you're doing a good enough job keeping yourself distracted and not doing nothing. Harris would have been better. You still be in the same position because you buried in distractions. Well, no, she would have been a whole lot better. Well, if that's the case, why was it better for you when Biden was in office and Harris was there too? Because you still were distracted by everything else that was going on. And you could not get undistracted. You're so focused on everybody and everything that you don't realize you're only hurting you. I had a crazy aha moment. I was like, whoa, like life ain't really, it's about the people that you care about and love the most. But life is really about you being on your property, coming outside before the right early in the morning, right before the sun really rise, 5 a.m., right before it gets super bright and hot. And you go out there and you cut 10 acres of land on your Ryan lawnmower with your mask on and your goggles on, with your little music on the side, and you just cutting your grass. Take you a couple hours, knock it out, wait before the sun rise. And after you finish cutting the grass, you might go over there and check on your little plants, see what in harvest, see what ain't harvest, see what you need to actually treat, what you don't need to treat. Go on out there to your lake, go catch you some bass and some brim. You catching dinner. When you come back from catching the bass and the brim, come on back, stop by the chicken coop and go on and get you about 6, 7 eggs that your chicken didn't hatch, and go on up in the property, make some breakfast. You had a couple of pigs processed because you want some bacon and some eggs. Let the spouse know you got dinner too. She ain't really going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere. She got on her robe. I'm going back in the house, changing clothes. Take me a bath because I've been out there working all morning. It's all before noon. Got my shower going. I'm good. Look at my little portfolio of things I got going. See how everything performing. Everything looks good. The wife says she want to go to the store. She going up and go shopping or something. I don't know. Go outside with the kids around in the afternoon. Enjoy time with them. Kicking it. Then everybody come on inside of the house. We're gonna eat supper by 4:30. After supper, we're gonna have family time. We're gonna sit and talk for a little bit. Might go outside, play a little volleyball, a little basketball. I don't know, whatever we decide to do, take a swim, whatever. Come on back in the house and relax. That's the epiphany that I saw. It was it was so vivid that it didn't even make no sense to me, y'all. And even with me spending all my day with my family, the money is still doing what it's supposed to do. And I ain't never got to worry about it. Everything is still operating the way it's supposed to operate. You know, the Batman effect. And that's almost a scary thought when I sit back and think about this because it's so unrealistic to folks. But it was crystal clear to me today that that's why I got placed on this planet. Got placed on this planet because Lord knows that I was the one person in my bloodline to break this curse off my bloodline back. To take all that stuff away. I would think Lord knows I was the strongest one that could come through and put everything on my shoulder. Take every dart, every inch of hate struggle, pain, whatever. Lord knows I was the only person in my bloodline to do this. I had to make a complete sacrifice. And I can tell you flat out, I know you all, a lot of people on this live may not have this in them, but a lot of y'all do. This sacrifice that you're going to have to make is probably going to be one of the hardest things you ever going to have to do in your life. And once you wrap your brain around doing it, it's going to be such a beautiful thing. You ain't never going to have to worry about happiness again. You're going to realize you have joy. So it's no longer a sacrifice. It's a joy to do this stuff. It's so wild when I think about having a 7-day weekend every single week. It's so wild to look at my kids and be like, my oldest got married. I'm a grandpa now. Got 2 grandsons. This is going to be amazing. Other one that graduated. Another one going to graduate soon. Kids getting older. I'm ready to just sit back on my little rocking chair on the porch and watch them come through the land. Sit on my rocking chair, just rocking. Boys come out and sit and talk to pops for a minute. Just be kicking it. Like, I don't think people really understand. People think this stuff is about money. It is not about money. It's not about money. And it's easy to say this when you didn't seen it. When you didn't played and did all the things. It's easy to say these things. It's easy to see it at this point, but I cannot stress it to you enough. If you work a job, you're in the perfect position to accomplish these things. You just got to get disciplined. You got to get disciplined. And it ain't no other way around it. When you add that level of structure in your life will change. But the true meanings of life will start to reveal itself. And when it starts to reveal itself, you're going to realize how this imperfect world looks so perfect. This world is such a beautiful place. I can't even make that up if I wanted to. It is such a beautiful place that it don't even make sense sometimes when I sit back and I just be like, man, this is why. I'm listening to my son right now. His butt supposed to be in bed right now. He upstairs on a hoverboard. He supposed to be in the bed. I'm gonna go, why you don't get your butt in that bed? Just because that's what my mama did to me when I was a kid. I ain't gonna be mad, I ain't gonna be upset, but it's gonna be a joy just to see it. Because I understand that this is what life is about seeing those little moments, correcting behaviors that need to be corrected, giving guidance where the guidance need to be given, giving provision, giving protection. All these different things is what life is about for a grown man, in my opinion, right? I could be wrong. You don't understand how much of a joy it is to wake up and be like, yeah, I'm somebody's daddy. I'm somebody's papa. And I'm a papa. That's an amazing feeling. Knowing that if they need anything for whatever reason, they be reaching out to me. And it ain't just about money. It might be, I just need to talk to you. I need to talk to your pops. My next to oldest daughter, she got this thing now, she at that age where she like me little boy. She at that age where she like these little boys. Do you understand how much joy it brought to my heart for my daughter to come and talk to me about a boy? The level of joy that just came through my spirit that she was comfortable enough to come and talk to me about a boy. And I didn't beat her down like, don't be mad. I ain't do all that nonsense. I said, and I listened. I asked a couple of questions, and I sit and listen and just let her get off whatever she need to get off. I didn't tell her what she can't do and what she will do and what she ain't gonna do, because the reality of it is, as you know, as a grown person, when you was a kid, then you do what you wanted to do. I have faith that I raised her well enough to understand what she should do and what she shouldn't do. The training was there. The only thing I can hope for is that my training was sufficient. And the mere fact that she came to me to have that conversation that most daughters ain't going to their pops and having that conversation with them about, it lets me know that the training worked. Told her how much I love her, how much faith I got in her, how much I trust her, and I believe in whatever she believes in, because I believe in her. It's almost unreal to have these moments, especially coming from where I'm coming from. The hell, talking, sitting down, talking to your kids. Don't nobody do that. Who the hell sitting there having a long, deep conversation with the kids? Ain't nobody really doing that. Others do all the time doing that because they at work, they tired. Daddy in the room sleep because he tired and grouchy. That ain't what life is about, y'all. Life is about making it better for the next people in line behind you. You have no reason to be afraid, because the reality of it is that clock, it's going to tick, regardless if you do anything or you don't do nothing. You might as well take a chance on life to make it better. It doesn't make sense to do something different. So look, y'all, I know this was a minute that I popped on here to kind of give y'all a little bit of my mind. I wasn't even gonna pop on tonight, but it was on my hallway. I appreciate y'all, love y'all more than y'all know. Again, for my TikTok family that's over here, shout out to y'all. It's gonna be a little different on TikTok for a while. I had to make my page private because we had too many clones over here trying to fake my accounts, and they started scamming folks, y'all. Somebody said, man, they hit me for $400. I said, how did they hit you for $400? I said, did you talk to the person? No, I ain't talked to the person. I did. It was through WhatsApp. I said, so you were texting the person and you thought the person was me? I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you. So I said, man, I got to make my page private, man. I don't know if that's going to help it, but we're going to see. So what does that mean? The engagement on my platforms are going to drop on TikTok, and my live number, which you see right now, we got 18 people strong over here on TikTok. Shout out to that. It's going to drop too. It just is what it is, y'all. We're not going to bring that many new people up in this joint. It is what it is. So again, shout out to y'all. For those people that have asked again, shout out to you again. Zabo103tv.com. Look, we're going to continue to continue our journey over there with all the law-abiding citizens over there. If you want to join the law-abiding citizens for $12.99 a month, you absolutely can join the law-abiding citizens over there at Zabo103tv.com. The link is in the bio. Definitely tap in. For my law-abiding citizens, we didn't go live this morning. We will be back live on Thursday on the network. So definitely tap in. We're about 6 months and 3 weeks out for the app. The app will be up in about 6 months and 3 weeks. So shout out to that. Again, y'all be good or have fun being bad. And I'll see y'all on the other side of the sun. The replays to this live will be at Zabo103 on Instagram. If you're on my TikTok page, there's a link there to take you to the Instagram. It's the only verified Zabo103 on Instagram. And it's going to be on YouTube at Zabo103. Facebook at Xavier Gibson if you missed the replays. Again, y'all enjoy y'all night, and I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Peace.